Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to tonight's episode of Tarot Readings by Janine. You can find Janine, of course, at Sending Ravens here on YouTube, and also Tarot by Janine. Janine, welcome back to the show.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jean-Claude.
How's it going today?
Good. Really
Long
good.
time no see.
Yeah. What, 2 hours or something?
I know. I've been busy, hard at work, putting the video up, folks. Thank you for joining us here tonight on this live interactive show. Of course, Janine and I just recorded today. We're back to our schedule here. We've recorded the Beyond Crypto Woo forecast for the month of April. And wow, it's a doozy. Janine, oh my God, so many things happening in 1 month. It's absolutely incredible. It was so busy that we did the whole show. We canned it up. We said goodbye to everyone and then realized, oh shoot, we forgot to do gold and silver. So we had to go back and do a part 2 recording. So if you're in the Insider Access Pass membership right now, you'll see there's actually 2 videos here for April. There's part 1 and then part 2, which is just the addendum for gold and silver. But we had a lot of good time with that. We've added some cryptos also to the list here this week. And there's 2 or 3 in there that are looking like really big movements for April. So guys, do go check that out. That $11 for the entry here is probably worth it just for those 2 or 3 coins we got into that could go absolutely ballistic here in April. So check it out. Available now also on pay-per-view. Janine, before we get too much into it tonight, what's your gut feeling or what's your outtake looking at April now and everything that's happening at the same time? What can you share with this audience tonight? Why perhaps they absolutely don't want to miss this episode?
Well, I'm thinking like all the things we've been talking about seem to be pretty much there. We're there. So it's the we're there moment. It seems like all through April, we're going to see the results of what we've been talking about months and months leading up. So,
Yeah, it's incredible. And actually, too, it's a setup. Well, tomorrow, you and I and Julie from Maison Jupiter are going to record the Astro Woo Finance also for April. And there's this eclipse coming up on April 30th also. And we did touch upon it here today on the Beyond Crypto Woo, but we'll get into a lot more details tomorrow. Incredible times we're living in. And quite frankly, it was difficult for me this whole month to create the slide deck for this particular show. There's so much going on. I had to remove some stuff, and any other time I would have kept them on the deck because they were big news in and of themselves, but not everything made it into the show here today. It was absolutely incredible. Wow. Okay. Something incredible happened also. Let me bring this up here and see if we can find this thing again. Hold on. Oh, there's a lot of good things to talk about here tonight. Hold on. But this one here was kind of weird. This was Chris Rock getting bitch slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars. Janine, set this up. What the hell happened? And then we'll ask some cards to see if this was scripted or if there's something else going on here.
Yeah. My son, right after it happened, he'd watched it, or maybe he just saw somebody put it up on, who knows, some kind of social media, and he brought it to me and showed it to me last night. And I just couldn't believe it. Was so weird. There was a lot of weird things about it. It did really feel it. First of all, I didn't think that was Chris Rock, and I definitely that is not Will Smith. You guys, look at his age. Okay, Will Smith looked like that 30 years ago. Like, you can see pictures of him 30 years. Like, he's an old man now. Okay, he's my age. Whoever that was 25 years younger. Come on.
I have to admit, because there's a few pictures of Will Smith over the year, and he had a YouTube channel for a while there doing stuff, and he looked old. And of course, during the Oscars, I'm like, wow, that guy looks like he, I don't know, either drank a few potions, and we'll call it that, to regenerate themselves, or it wasn't him. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so guys, if you don't know, basically Chris Rock was making a joke about Will's wife, who was hair shaven, but she has a medical condition. So I'm not sure if Chris Rock knew that or not. And apparently that was over the top for Will Smith. He got up and he smacked him on the face, and he used a bit of profanity twice, telling him to keep his wife's name out of his effing mouth. And so you could tell that Chris was shaken by that, and he was like, wow, what just happened here? And he tried to recover as best he can, but you could tell there's something weird there. I'm not sure it's scripted. Some people are saying, oh, it's scripted. We'll hit him with an open hand. It's an actor technique not to hit anybody. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Or maybe he didn't want to actually hit him. He just wanted to slap him a little bit here. I don't know. Let's ask the cards.
Yeah.
First of all, was this scripted, or is there something else going on here?
Okay. I've not asked about this yet, so this will be fun.
Okay.
Because that was just some drama, right?
Yeah. So he says it's all an act. Don't believe it. Maybe. I don't know. Janice, yeah, it's all an act. When you look at Will's face, at first he was laughing at the joke, but then he realized his wife was not laughing and she was angry. So then he changed his tune and went over to slap Chris Rock here in the face. So I don't know.
Okay, you guys, this is interesting.
Okay.
People you're talking about might not even still be with us.
Jeez.
You know, like this is like, you know, really not good circumstances might have left the earth plane.
Wow.
Okay, and then the Wheel of Fortune. So unexpectedly and or in unexpected ways, or the other way you could read it is it's the opposite of what you think. So those people weren't even them. This is gossip and innuendo, and this is the 8. So they're trying to make a stir of some kind or a point of some kind, but I don't think it was about literally what you were seeing. So I think it's part of the movie. Yeah. So this was under here. Okay, so that would have been underneath. So they left the earth plane because the dark cult they belong to is dying a slow, painful death.
Mm-hmm.
They're nowhere to. All of these cards were in one reading.
Wow.
Okay? None of those people are with us. That they're not even the wife, probably.
Wow. Wow. I mean, stranger things, right? There's a lot going on right now. I don't know. Wow. You know, if it's not them, this whole bitch slapping thing, it seems like it was made so that people remember this night or this particular Oscar show for a reason. People would say, oh, yeah, that's the one that where, Chris Rock got slapped on the face with. Is that what's going on here?
They made an agreement that they had to do that. They had to play that out. And there was some kind of they wanted a desired effect out there. They wanted people talking about it, draw attention to it. Maybe to draw attention to pay attention to details, because everybody's going to watch it in slow motion and everything.
Maybe.
Right. So there's something they're trying to draw your attention to.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's Hollyweird is weird indeed. Who knows what's going on with those people? Speaking about that, let me see if I can bring this last one up too. Hold on a second here. For some reason, these didn't go in the same order when I redid the slide deck earlier today. This story here, of course, the men competing in the women's category. It's making a fuss as of late, and it's interesting because for a while, also mainstream media was telling us that this was perfectly normal, but it seems like the narrative is shifting somewhat. And of course, we saw that other one last week, not being able to answer the simple question of what is a woman. So it seems that perhaps the narrative is about to switch on this whole transgender agenda. Now, on that, I was talking to Cliff earlier today or yesterday, and he believes that maybe here in April, so just turning next week here, we might get some revelations about some really big A-listers in Hollywood who are not what we thought they were. So a big deception in terms of the gender inversion. So I wanted to ask the cards, is it possible that finally, we know that there's a lot of gender inversion in Hollywood, but is it possible that in fact now there's a turn in the tide and we might start getting some of that reality hit mainstream news here?
Okay. So we've been tricked for a really long time. This is coming full circle on the trickery. So they're about to reveal the trickery, you bet. And it's been coming out for quite a while. It's going to cause a lot of commotion. Like a lot of people are not going to be happy about it. You'll be surprised because maybe they've hung pictures of those people up on their walls. They've been, who knows, doing what to the pictures, like.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna get people, they're gonna feel like they were duped.
What was that movie, The Crying Game? You remember the guy realizes he had sex with a man and he's in the shower crying? Anyways, The Crying Game, I think. Or
it's
Train
not gonna be
Spotting.
pretty.
Train Spotting, I think. I forget which
Train
one it was.
spotting.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, could you imagine?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's time for disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be part of the disclosure.
Yeah. Wow. And that's going to wake up a lot of people to a lot of things. Because again, it's all about getting to this new, I guess, reality. Well, the real reality, but it's all coming out. So I think learning about Big Mike, I think this is what Cliff was alluded to also, that he might be coming out in a big way. Pun intended, of course. So that would shock a lot of people. Not people watching this show, of course, but their parents and everybody else who's still on mainstream news. They could be shocked, to say the least. Okay, from Carla tonight, this is going to the PayPal tip jar donators. A big thank you to all of you guys supporting the show. Really appreciate that. The pyramid tonight is Emilia. Let's see what Carla has to say.
Hi, everyone. This is Carla from Ascension Organites. Today, I wanted to show you Emilia. So she's the first design that I ever made. I call Emilia my heart pyramid because she's made of rose quartz and copper metal. So as you know, rose quartz is known as the love stone. So I think of Emilia as a love magnet and a love generator. So to attract more love into your life and to nurture the love that you already have. There's no particular place to put Emilia. I actually have the first piece that I made in my kitchen because I feel like the kitchen is the heart of the house. But anywhere around the house you would put her, she would work just fine. She also has the flower of life in gold. And here she is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carla. I appreciate that. And folks, if you're looking to get one of these amazing creations in your own hands, you can do so here at ascensionorganites.com. And there, if you use the coupon code BeyondMystic, you'll get an extra 10% off these amazing creations. Janine, what happened to your recording today? I hear you're making changes and you're interviewing on Sending Ravens. You're going to add more content, but you had a little bit of a faux pas. What the hell's going on?
I did a wonderful interview. Ashley was going to be my first interview. So we're going to have to redo it unless I can find it tonight. But I did a great little Zoom interview with her. And then you know how it does that little thing it does?
Yeah.
Prepares it. And then usually something comes up that says save, but I didn't see that come up. And before I knew it, it just disappeared. So either I missed it, I didn't save it. Anyway, I can't find it anywhere. So we have to redo it. But it was such a good some of your best interviews. That's happened twice to me now.
Yeah, that's very frustrating. Now, yes, okay, so I don't use Zoom, so I'm not the technical expert on that. But even during that conversion, you have the original Zoom file, you convert it to then be able to upload it to YouTube or whatever, but you might still have the original file before the conversion. So I'll help you out with that. We might be able to find it after. So hopefully we can get that sorted out for you. That's just crazy. All right. Wait, hold on. It's going too I love JC. Love you, Janine. JC looks like Clark Kent with the glasses. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Did you check your downloads, Janine? Well, they don't go necessarily to downloads. They go to a Zoom folder. But at any rate, Colleen, we'll try to figure that out. Okay. This was interesting over the weekend. Somebody sent this to me, and I had to go and look for myself because I'm like, wait a second here. You and I have been saying this forever, but the mainstream media told us we were wrong, Janine. That, of course, these numbers were absolutely inverted, that it was the unwilling who were saturating the hospital rooms and that everybody else was safe because they had taken the products. Well, these are numbers directly from the Ontario government, their own data. You have to scroll down quite a bit, but I took a snapshot here and I put some arrows. That's a big proportional difference between what they were telling us in the news for the last couple of months. As you know, they were saying that it was going to be the winter of death for the unwilling. That did not occur. And yet, when you look at these numbers here, where the arrows are pointing, it's absolutely the willing who are filling out the hospital beds. So I wonder, Janine, are we finally here at that threshold where some, at least, of this data is going to continue even now by government sources, not by you and me, like the conspiracy theorists out there, but even from the mainstream media and the organizations collecting all these statistics, are we going to see the truth here more and more as we go forward? And I have a supplemental question for you on that as well.
Well, this card is a wake-up call card, and of course, long coming. It's not right here today, not with that hanged man. We're just waiting for the wake-up call. That's what we're doing. But we're really close because that's an 80% card. So we're that's where we are right now. Now we got the strength card. The world. Okay, this is interesting, all of these major arcanas. Okay, we're going to need a lot of strength going forward because I think it's going to come out all at once and be really powerful. There's going to be some powerful information. We're going to need a lot of, we're going to have to guide and use our wisdom and patience and tolerance as people find these things out. And we might even have to stay a little bit out of the way of people having their reactions to it. Like, because this card says, this is advice, we might need to stay safely out of the way. So like a lot of people were saying, we're going to get angry people. We're going to get people reacting and looking for, trying to hunt down anybody that might have encouraged them, or like the doctor that gave it to them. Or
no, easy on the words there. Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. Well, let's see that. I believe in the Webot data also, they were suggesting that some people would take matters in their own hands. They would be angry at the devastating results of having taken said product and would take revenge, basically. Let's just say that. We are not espousing any violence, of course, on the show, but let's just ask the cards, is that possible that here in April, as more and more of this news comes up, that we do see people lose it here and maybe try to obtain revenge here for what's been done to them? What can the cards say?
maybe a little after April. So this is April itself. So we still got the Hanged Man there. So we're still like, there's still a lot of denial maybe going on and people talking themselves out of it, or patiently hoping they got that wrong or they didn't read that right. But we get a lot closer to it by the end of April. So I think May might be more the month that I'm getting. Yeah.
Okay.
Here, that for May. That feels like it's you're a lot thicker in it in May. It takes people time because they'll make excuses and deny and not want to look at it. I've been seeing it firsthand here.
And what's that saying? It's easier to fool somebody than to convince them that they've already been fooled. Yeah. They don't want to hear that. Because again, I tweeted this and I emailed this to a few people. And what I got in response was crickets. It's like no debate, there was no nothing. It's like I hadn't even sent it. I'm like, look, it's your own government, their own numbers. Suddenly, why is this not on the 6 o'clock news? They're not, you know, they're correcting the data, of course, but they're not correcting the course on the news yet. Again, this is this could be going for a disaster for a lot of people. My heart goes out to everybody who's stuck in that situation. Hey guys, I tweeted this over the weekend. This was Sarah Westall. You can find her at sarahwestall.com. She put out this amazing 3-part series. And I'll just say on the KM here for now. You guys can read that on the screen. Very fascinating. If you haven't seen that and you want to understand perhaps a little bit better what's going on in this world, not just what's going on in that part of the world with the war right now, but how that pertains to our financial system, to our educational system, our political systems, and the overrepresentation of this KM in all of our power structure pyramids here around the planet. This is absolutely a must watch, and also share it with your friends and family, because whether you know it or not, you are at war, and you don't want to be the father for all of these nasty people. Janine, have you had a chance to watch this already? Do you know what we're talking about?
But okay. I'm just thinking of some people I'm going to send it to, and I'm also going to watch it myself.
Oh yeah, really good. You and I have already done one part of the show on this when we did the decode on the Illuminati capital falling a couple of months ago. This follows up on that, but in more detail. And this is coming also from some writers at Veterans Today. So it's coming from a standpoint of a military point of view also. So really, really cool information there to look at. Joan Francis, love the new beard. I was just lazy. I wasn't planning on it. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, let's get into the next part here. This is interesting. I don't even know how much we can get into it. How do I phrase this one here? Okay, so in the last week or so, we've seen the laptop issue come back, and it's in mainstream news, and there's admissions now that all of us conspiracy nutcases over the last year or two were absolutely correct, that there was some inappropriate information on there, that there was an investigation, and that could tie the B family here with some nefarious money deals in this part of the world. And so if that is the case now, and we're seeing the mainstream news talking about it more and more, are we close to perhaps having a change of leadership? I'll just say that way here. So is it possible that this could devolve into these people are not fit to hold office? Perhaps they're beholden by this money from this KM group. Are we close to maybe seeing Mr. B here removed, and maybe also his son? A lot of people are asking.
Yep, absolutely. So it is our wish, and it would be to the good of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got the Three of Swords there. So that would be like removal, or certainly like make them look so bad that they might step down themselves, something like that. Who knows how it'll go, but that's doubtful actually, since that is an act, right? Yeah. And yeah, it's going to expose a lot of dirty laundry, let's just say, on both their parts, but in particular, daddy's dirty laundry. So actually more seems to more point to how this guy was involved, this guy being, I think this would be the senior, not Hunter himself.
Okay, that's interesting. And there's more coming for Hunter himself. And yeah, I'll get Joe back on the line when he's ready to talk about it, him and Woo Woo Dude. Okay, let's get a question here from the Insider Access Pass, CJ Bluebird. Question: my brother's idea to pool all family resources to purchase a large property or farm. Will we be able to coexist together in harmony? CJ, that's a good question. We're seeing now, here close to where I live too, a lot of new multi-generational homes being built. You know, where you have the parents and then an attachment, another house. It seems to be coming back in favor here. But this particular questioner is asking about pulling all the resources, buying a farm, and will that be successful in living in harmony? CJ Bluebird.
It's going to take time, because both these cards are about the right now. So this is a bit of a hold up, and then this is somebody's going to feel really stuck, so they might have trouble convincing everybody to hand over the resources or get their hands on the resources or come up with the right amount of resources, or even like trying to find, just like it feels like it'll take time, and there's going to be hold ups. We've got the Three of Pentacles. So they got the right idea. So the sharing of a property doesn't look like it's the problem. It's agreeing on something and getting it all to go forward, kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Now we've got the World and the Ace of Cups. So I think once they get all the details sorted out, they'll have to really rebirth the way they do things, like really be creative, but they could really make a world for themselves and their family. Yeah. So it got a lot of potential to the good.
Okay. That's interesting. Joan Barrow from the PayPal tip jar. Let's get to this one here. You two are part of my family, soul family. Thank you so much. Please ask Janine, have I prepared enough for my family for the upcoming shenanigans? Joan Barrow. Typically, those who ask that question have already prepared more than those who don't ask the question, by the way. Yep. Go ahead, Janine.
So this is her. So she's been very thorough and leans on the safe and thorough and organized side. And this is an organized, really to the point of almost like overly organized. Like, right? Because now we're not talking about government things, so this doesn't come up as the dark cult. The other way to read this card, because I know I always say, oh, that's it's the deep state card, but not in a question like that. So what it is somebody who's so organized. It's like this person's even a control freak organized. So that feels like a yes. She's been very careful and just working on it for quite a while here. And then we've got these two. So it looks like she's going to even have her family in comfort for the shenanigans. So I'd say yes.
Okay, very good. That's encouraging news. Now let me see if I can bring this one here. For some reason, whoops. Let's see what just happened there. Renaissance Man, Control C. You and I talked about this today in the Beyond Crypto Woo. I'm just moving it over here from the other slide deck for just a moment so we can share that with this audience as well. So this is a really cool article. Let me bring that down in the live chat for you guys as well. It's a long article. As you can see here, there's a lot to read. There's a lot of historical context, but it basically goes through what just happened with Russia and the revaluation of gold attached to ruble and the oil, and where we go from here. So I really recommend you guys go read this article. But while I do that, I want to ask you, Janine, here, have we really today in earnest, because of this news here, seen the death of the petrodollar? You and I have been reporting that for a long time. But is this the first crack in our reality here to let people know that, in fact, the petrodollar is, in fact, dead?
Yeah, I'd say it was maybe a while back, but this is the first glimpse at the reality. And there's going to be a lot of shenanigans around people really coming to terms with that. Going to cause a lot of shenanigans and a lot of confusion, which is maybe why they didn't just give you the heads up, because I think it already happened. I think it already happened.
Now, go ahead.
Let's just look at that. Yeah, so 8, so it's happened already. You're just hearing about it, and you're just at the very beginning of hearing about it. So yeah, I'd say we're at the very beginning of the admitting that it's happening, because there's no going back with those two cards. They're moving in a direction, and it's not going the other way. So yeah, there's no coming back, and there's no way out of this. It's going there.
And to be fair, also for the audience, there's a lot of rumors out there about the different, scenarios that people are proposing, Nicera, Gessera, QFS, all of these things. And in a lot of cases, those seem to trigger people into doing nothing, into thinking that everything is going to be okay and they don't have to take responsibility for themselves. What would you say to those people right now, in light of what we're seeing in here, and in the light of what a lot of analysts are saying, there's going to be really unintended and maybe horrible consequences to removing this parasite from our financial system until such time as we can come together and create a new human organic economy of ourselves? But what can you tell people here on how to prepare and to really be masters of self when it comes to their own finances?
So we've got this card is a wake-up call. So the whole thing's a wake-up. I mean, we've been working on our waking up process, so we're quite aware, but there's a whole lot of people you're going to know that have no clue that this is even happening. And we've got, so the wise old souls are going to have to really be, you're going to have to really be aware for the people that aren't aware. So that means if you're somebody in a large family, you might want to, I've given a lot of my family members, first of all, silver for Christmas, a little bit of silver just to help them. And I've even instructed, now I have no idea if anyone's listening to me though, but I've said, listen, just take my word for it, keep some cash around the house, take it out of the bank account. You might not have access to your bank account. I've done a lot of prepping, but it doesn't mean anyone listened to me, but that's my due diligence. I told them, I know stuff's coming. You got to pay attention. If you can possibly maybe get involved in, maybe get a crypto wallet. Doesn't mean they listened. Okay. I did what felt right for me. So guidance, we're going to need guidance, and it will be hard. it will be hard, and it is going to be a hard transition, but the outcome is a way more self-sustaining society that's built on. So this person's completely sovereign and freedom-loving. She takes care of herself. Way less involvement by government agencies, and that's where we're headed. So the big picture is good, but the getting to the big picture is going to be hard, and we're going to need to be guiding the way for a lot of people. So showing by example, that's one way you can do it. Like I'm showing an example by and I tell everybody, all friends and family, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't mean they listen though, of course, but that's, you did just have to be a guide. Sometimes being a guide is literally not saying anything, but doing for yourself and letting them know what you're doing.
Right. Now, we've come to the conclusion, and a lot of people are also realizing that Cliff calls it the SOC, the self-organizing collective. Some people would call it the good guys, like Bix Weir. There are people working on this, on the devolution plan, who might be out there working something so that we have maybe a softer landing as opposed to the hard crash that we would have otherwise. But I think what Janine and I are saying, regardless of that, you need to prepare, and you need to do the best you can for yourself. And if those guys do come up with solutions, then all the merrier, but at least you'll be a little ahead of everybody else if you've done your own homework and you've prepared for yourself. Cliff tweeted this earlier today. Big thank you to him. He says, Russia bonded oil and gold and to the ruble today, and the dollar shit itself by 5% versus Bitcoin today. And he says, if you haven't already thought about going into cryptos but didn't, now's the time to do it. And of course, he was referring here to our Beyond Crypto Woo crash course, this one here. So if you guys haven't done that already and you want to learn about crypto, you can do so here in about a 2.5-hour course. Joe and I have put all of this together for you guys so that you can start downloading your wallet, getting your exchange set up safely, and making your first transaction and taking it off the exchange. Big thing also right now, because of all of this volatility, do not leave your cryptos on any exchanges. If you don't hold them, you do not own them. So please do go and check that out if it is of interest to you. Next question, eSavvy Solutions. Let me see if I can bring this one. Tough question here, but they're asking and they know it's going to be public. eSavvy Solutions. Thank you both ever. I appreciate your help. My daughter just miscarried, first trimester. She was 31 and got the products. Will she be able to have a child again after having said products? Janine. Heart goes out to you. That's a tough one. And I know a lot of people are in that situation already here. And I know the stillbirths numbers are through the roofs here, even in Ontario. The statistics are not good at all.
So I'm just going to say I can really feel the pain that woman is going through. So that really hit me hard. So I'm not going to show the cards because they're a little hard to look at. But the outcome says things will get better over time, and there's things she can do over time, and people are going to, so hopefully she's got some years, I mean, I had a child at 42, so we can have children later even, but this card says things could work themselves out over time, and she could work on it over time. There's going to be things she might have to do though. Right? Okay. So she's going to have to look into, and a lot of people are likely going to be sharing, because I've gotten lots of shares about things you can start doing even now. So she's going to have to really look at, there is a problem with that. She'll have to come to terms with that and then actually jump some hoops for her to be able to undo, mend that. Because she was affected by that. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, tough. And again, Janine and I weren't too popular last year when we said that there would be unintended consequences to a lot of these products, and a lot of people in the spiritual New Age community was saying, "Oh no, everything's going to be okay. We have ETF worlders are going to help us," and blah blah blah. Yes, that still very well may be the case at some point, but in the meantime, there's still a lot of people exiting here because of those products, and Janine was going through that here just a couple of weeks ago too. So our hearts are with you, and we know it's not easy to look at these things, but again, maybe we can urge you to make considerations for that. Because, for example, and this is what I was talking about last year even, if your brother or your sister goes away because of some of these damages, are you now left responsible for children, for example? These are things that will disrupt quite a bit the social order as we move forward. And again, as you were just mentioning, Janine, this might be the first time where we as humanity to come together and win a war, but only after we've won the war do we suffer all of the consequences of what actually happened to us before and during the war.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough. Why don't we pull some cards on that, Janine? Just general words of wisdom from the universe on how to deal again with some of these nasty unintended consequences that might show up here. Even if we're very hopeful, hoping for the best, we also need to prepare for the worst. What would the cards say to the audience?
She's a manifester. So visualizing where you want to be in the future instead of staying in the dreary, so once you become aware that there's these issues, okay, it wouldn't be a good idea to just stay in that emotion all the time, right? Don't choose to be in the destitution of, okay, because some people will get into, we're all totally screwed. Okay. Well, that's not the case. You're never totally if I would have thought that about any one of the disastrous situations I've been in over 60 years, okay, I certainly wouldn't be here doing this right now. Do you know what I mean? I've bumped into nothing like what we're doing right now, mind you, but all kinds of things that I had to visualize my way out of. So choose to visualize a future that you can live with and that feels comfortable and loving for yourself. So work on your visualization. And that card is, and don't forget to notice, because this would be like surprise yourself with emotional connectedness, kind of. Sometimes especially if it's advice. So don't forget to notice the little things, like smell the flowers along the way, notice what's good, because your world has a lot of nasty stuff coming out. We're looking at the swamp right now daily, especially if you go down the rabbit holes. It can be really ugly. Don't forget to go into nature or play with your pets and connect with people you love. And don't always just talk about the dreary. Don't forget to smell the roses. Go into nature as much as possible. It's very healing, right? Touch the earth and look at your beautiful sunsets and sunrises and things like that. Really important, because it's too easy to stay in, the depressed and yucky part. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of yucky that we're cleaning out, and a lot of things happening that are not pleasant, and we're going to have to face them. But don't forget to take time to visualize how we come out of this and agree to connect with that vision at least once a day. And go visit some nature, or if you have pets, petting my cat really helps. And being kind to others and animals, and kindness and generosity, even in hard times, is really healing.
Okay, very good. Hey, that's great advice. Okay, let's take a question here from the Insider Access Pass. Janine, I just followed through on the download to quit my day job. I love it. Miss Kimberly B. Yay. How can I best serve and lead going forward? This is from Miss Kimberly B.
Well, she was given that. That was something that she was asked to do. So I'm so happy she listened to it, because she got big clarity there. She got a big glimpse of, and I feel like now she's really connecting with maybe her deep knowing and old soul self, that maybe even has a healing, gifts of healing and or wisdom that she can share. Like, I feel like she's going to need to make a decision about how she's going to share her wisdom. That was a woman who asked that, was it?
Yes, Kimberly B. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, and this card here, she might even want to take a little time, not just try to get right into it, but actually take time, because there's still something missing from the information, and have a mantra that says, I'm going to know exactly how this will unfold for me, and I'm going to take the right steps. So talking about it, like she trusts herself and it's all going to unfold. She'll be told from her higher self, she'll take action, and that'll help create that, right? So she has to agree to that. It's like making agreements with your higher self is really important. So she might need to take a little time. Like, it's not time just to jump into action. Maybe take a couple of weeks, right? And then listen for the next step.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah.
Let's take this next one here. Air Angel, she's asked a couple of times. I wasn't sure how to ask the question, so let me take a stab at it. She's saying, quote unquote, nothing can stop what's coming. We've heard that quote many times before here in the last couple of years. But she's asking, does it actually mean that the predicted pole shift of 2040? And if so, what will the outcome be for humanity? I've personally never equated the nothing can stop what's happening with the pole shift myself. How do you want to ask the question to the straight out the way it's presented, Janine, or do you want to break that out?
I'll do the first part.
Okay.
Because of course the second part's huge.
Yeah.
Right? Like the whole world's going to change. So yeah, that's huge. Okay. But so, and in the first part could dictate how we ask the second part. Okay. So it looks like it's not necessarily the natural occurrence in 2040 she's talking about. I think this is a lot sooner, and it has something more man-made to do with it. So it's actions that were taken. Okay, and maybe even positive military with that part.
When I hear that phrase, to me, I think justice. I don't necessarily think natural disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now we should ask. So the second part of her question:
what will be the outcome for humanity?
So now we have to decide: are we asking about, because the pole shift is not what that phrase is talking
right
about.
So that phrase,
how should we ask?
So let's just go with that phrase seems to suggest that it's justice as opposed to a natural disaster. So if that justice comes and nobody can stop what's coming, what will be the outcome of that for humanity in general?
The very same cards in different placements. Wow. So we got this one again. So big wake up, huge revelations. Like, this is literally like waking the dead up.
Yeah.
And really fast. This speeds everything up, and it could even be a little bit harsh, because both these cards together this doesn't feel soft. Okay, so nothing can stop. So there's going to be this awakening. So a lot of us already did, but we did it on our own terms. This is for the people that didn't wake up and they get it slapped in the face, what's coming. So nothing, and it's going to be hard for them. So that's the part they might be referring to with the nothing can. So we can't stop that. They're eventually going to crash into the truth. The truth can't be hidden anymore. Like, the mainstream media can't keep faking it till they, you know what I mean? It's just can't. It's like a floodgates open, and it'll be so obvious that even people going, you know, we can't ignore it anymore.
You can't ignore the tsunami of truth. You can put your head in the sand all you want, but it's going to kick you in the ass either way.
Yeah. And the outcome, well, that depends on how, like, because both these cards are sevens, so it's still a work in progress. So that'll have a lot to do with our input, everybody's input, how high we keep the vibration. I mean, really high vibration people can change a lot of energy in a room. You can walk in a room, and if you keep your personal energy high and your boundaries are intact, you can actually rise the whole vibration of the room. Okay, it gets called charisma. People that walk in a room with energy that's really positive and attracts attention and whatever, you'll attract attention to your positive energy, even if you're not trying to. People will gravitate towards that, because the other kind of downer energy is not very attractive, and people don't gravitate towards it, by the way. They, go away from it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you personally decide to bring in love and light in situations, you could really do like go forward, even though things are going to be hard and the rebuilding of all our structures are going to have to be rebuilt. So this says depends on how much. What do you want to do there? How are you going to spin that? So that's a work in progress.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. A lot of you are emailing me in the last couple of days to know when these Beyond Mystic silver bars are finally going to be made available. Well, good news on that. This weekend, we finally got to approve with the die maker the final proofs for these bars. So we're going to, it looks like we're going to have these two bars, the original version here with just the Beyond Mystic logo, and of course the newly and improved version with the star card moving us in here, of course, in this spiritual world here with silver. So if you haven't done so already and you want to put your name on the waiting list for as soon as they are available to ship with no purchases necessary, please do fill out this contact form here at beyondmystic.net/silver bar and let us know how many in the quantity you desire, because we are going to be making a limited run of that, and hopefully you guys, the Beyond Mystic audience, will have first crack at that. So please do fill that out. That's beyondmystic.net/silver bar. And in the meantime, if you're looking for some physical silver in your own possession, we have the 1 ounce Trump silver rounds right now at $6.25 over spot here. These are the rebates afforded to the Beyond Mystic audience here by Miles Franklin, and you can find that at beyondmystic.net/silver. We also have the 2022 Silver Britannias at $5.50 over spot, and also the Valcambi bars. Really cool new product there as well. And finally, for the Canadian audience, the 10-ounce bars here on mfbullion.ca on sale at $5.95 Canadian over spot. Janine, what's your next interview coming up on Sending Ravens? Now that you've messed up the one today and you might have to re-record it, what's your guest interview list looking like here as you move forward?
It's looking good, actually. I got Dr. Northrup's coming on the 31st. That's going to be super exciting because I chatted with her twice with Catherine Edwards, but this time it's just going to be her and I, and that'll be fun. And we're going to get to know her first. So the whole thing is I'm going to let my guests at the very end ask me a question to do with the cards, and they can ask personal ones for their own selves, and or they can actually ask things about world events. They can ask any question. I'm the type of reader, throw it at me, I'll look at it. I don't care what it's about. There's no limits to cards.
Cool.
I'll try to answer it as long as the question's formulated, in a way that you can approach it, right? Yeah. So then I'm going to do Ashley again. So if I can't find that recording, I wanted her to be the first. So Ashley will go up tomorrow regardless. Like I find it and we do that, or we redo it. Then we're going to have on the 31st, Dr. Northrup, and that'll be very exciting. We're going to have in 2 weeks. So I haven't hammered everybody down, but I've got Michael Jaco coming on. I really want to have you, Jean-Claude.
Well, now maybe that could be arranged.
That could be arranged. Yeah.
I know that guy who knows a guy who can put you in contact.
Oh, perfect. And Julie, you know what I mean? Right. It's like I'm going with people that I find interesting, fascinating, doing good work out there, and just people that I think my audience might want to know. Different than, like, we don't know a lot about, like, Julie comes on the show with me. I hardly know anything about her. I'd love to know, like, how did she get to where she's, how did she learn, study, what got her interested? Like, that's what I was asking Ashley, how, like, as a child, what triggered all of this, and was she always like that, and that kind of thing. So that's the kind of question. I just want to get to know them, and then we'll do the question. Actually, with Ashley and with readers, I had Ashley answer one of my questions too, so people could see how she read. And maybe with astrologers, I might, we'll have a little glimpse into how they get to some of their conclusions.
Okay.
Things like that. We'll just play around with it.
Wow, that'd be cool. All right. So, folks, do check it out. That's Sending Ravens here on YouTube. Janine is at 93,500 strong, and she's trying to hit that 100K. What's the deadline for the 100K?
May 1st.
May 1st. Okay. A whole month. Guys, hit that subscribe button. Go check it out. Check out her new interviews there. That's awesome. Okay, let me see if I can pick another question here from the PayPal tip jar. And thank you everyone for the well wishes. Yeah, I haven't felt well since I had the dental surgery last week. I've been kind of off, so I appreciate all those nice comments. And I do need to sleep. I'm just trying to get all these schedules back in order, and so I'm working overtime this week to get all of that back up to speed for you guys. Okay, next question was from, I believe, Elaine Muri. Yes, let me see if I can bring this up on the screen. Elaine, blessings and gratitude to you both, JC and Janine. I'm wondering if I will be moving within the next 6 to 12 months back to where I was born. Elaine Muri. Merci beaucoup, Elaine. Hold on. Roseanne says they put an implant in your tooth, JC. You know what? I actually said that to my dentist because she was like, "Oh, can you give me that metal thing?" She asked the other girl. I'm like, "What metal thing? What are you putting in my mouth?"
Yeah,
So like, you're not putting an implant in there, are you? And my doctor kind of looked at me like, "Yeah, he's crazy." I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So Rosie, thank you for that. Yes, it did cross my mind. It did cross my mind. Okay, Janine. Elaine Mary, is she going to be moving to where she was born, I guess, in the next 6 to 12 months?
So that's her intention for sure. And she's focused a lot of energy on it. But all of these unexpected things are going to come up that are going to temporarily set her back a little. So she could have, like, this is temporarily setbacks. Okay, so temporarily setbacks. And so if she just keeps being creative with the setbacks, she'll get there, just not quite exactly when she thought, and with a little jump and some hoops.
Right. Okay, Ellen, I hope that makes sense. And Dan Hula is saying, really, JC? Who gives themselves a dental surgery for their 50th birthday? I know it was supposed to be before, but it was delayed, and it just turned out to be almost at the same time as my birthday. It wasn't pleasant at all, but it needed to be done. So, it is what it is. Okay, thank you for having fun with me, guys. I appreciate this. And yeah, everybody's saying, yeah, we're all the fringe crazy minority. Yeah, so we were told by our lovely Prime Minister. Speaking of our lovely Prime Minister, he's been in the hot soup there in Europe quite a bit. A lot of other leaders around the world calling him out on his dictator style.
Yep.
I don't know. What do you want to take an update on that? There's a few people asking, are we going to travel here in Canada? I think the last person that asked in the chat was April 4th, but let's just say April, generally speaking, because let me put it this way, Jenny, before you pull the cards. There was 2.2 million people on the Hill in minus 30 temperatures.
Yeah.
These people did not go away. If anything, they're more resolute than they were last month. Imagine what's going to happen when the weather gets better here and there's another event or momentum that brings Canadians together again to demand their rights. Things could happen really, really quick and in big numbers too. That's what I'm thinking. But let's ask the cards what it sees for April here in Canada.
Yep, we will. We will. So see that 6 there? I feel like there's something going on in the background that's going to shift, even if they say we can't, and even if they make some legislative decision that we can't, that's not going to hold. Okay. I'm feeling like these cards are saying, even within 1 month time, we're going to be traveling is what I get. So yeah, they're obviously, doing everything in their power, the bad guys will say, to just keep hanging on for the last little thread of power. But let me ask
you a supplemental.
Yep.
All the provinces here, and bear with me, I'm going to try to develop this content live. All the provinces, or if not all the provinces in Ontario, in Canada here, have announced, or they have already lifted their mandates, stating that, of course, the numbers support it now. They're following the silence, and the science tells them that they can lift these restrictions, yet the federal government refuses to do so. And I was thinking, why could that be? Because now they're going against their own words about following science and the numbers and all that. Could it be that they're desperately trying to save face here? Because that was part and parcel, one of the ways through the paperwork, let's just call it that they were going to funnel us into these new CBDCs, central bank issued digital currency, and they don't want to lose face before they introduced these currencies. And now we had the Bank of International Settlements just a couple of days ago announced that, yeah, a couple of countries around the world in partnership with the BIS are now introducing their CBDCs. So is that partly why our federal government here is withholding the lifting of restrictions here in order to try to squeeze us into their CBDC?
Okay, you guys are going to get mad at me, but if you're not of this mind, but it's part of the movie. It's part of the movie. I get what's really behind it. I think that our government is shadow governed, just like the US. So these guys are behind it and they're about ready to make a move. So this doesn't happen anymore to anybody. So I feel like they're just doing their last little things they were told to do to look really bad and really describe in a quick way, almost like a quickening of everything the deep state dark cult had planned for humanity. They've been showing it to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get. That's what I've been steadily getting. So it's kind of, that's just what I get. So I got to say it, right?
Well, in the last couple of months, like we've been seeing a lot of horrible and atrocious things, including the Emergencies Act here in Canada, the overreach, the power grabs and all that. And it appears right now, looking at the data, some of the remote viewers, some of the predictive linguistics, that April is going to be like that, but on steroids in terms of secrets being revealed and a whole bunch of weird shit happening. So hold on to your socks, folks. Janine, we're almost there at the hour mark. Do we want to maybe pick a card, just generally speaking, to see what the energies are from here until we meet again on Wednesday evening for the next show? And folks, for the last couple of weeks, there's been a weird glitch between StreamYard and YouTube where our shows, for some reason, even though I was posting them for 8 p.m. Eastern, as we normally do here, Janine and I, they were posting for 8 a.m. So I'm not sure how that happened. Thank you for those of you who let me know. I went in and fixed that. But it's twice now or 3 times that that's happened. But really, guys, just pay attention to the posters and to our regular schedule. If you see a glitch like that, it's probably like that, just a glitch. But thanks for letting me know. Janine, next couple of days.
Okay, so we're going to see a real end to what appears to be our government. And or there's going to be an end to, so that we could be seeing the end of, even in the next few days, and I hope this is true, of what appears to be Mr. B in the States, for instance, and Mr. T steps back up, and or whoever's going to be replacing Mr. B, because we know it's not, we've known for a long time he's not the real guy anyway. He's not the real Mr. B anyway. So Mr. T in the white hats kind of card. So something we've been waiting for, or at least we get word on when or how that's going to come down. So it feels like we get a lot closer to that situation we've been wanting. The end of the fake and the movie. I mean, please, just let's end this thing, right? Because we've been waiting so long for this.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we've been waiting for sure a long time. Oil nurture lady. Jean-Claude, sounds like sinus infection or dry socket infect, both common post-surgery with teeth. Maybe. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I am taking a lot of chaga and a lot of my vitamin C and D as usual. I feel good. It's just a little off, basically. But yeah, the show must go on. Thank you so much, Jenny, for being here tonight. And of course, tomorrow, you and I will be recording with Julie the Astro Woo Finance for the month of April. In the meantime, folks, right now, available on the Insider Access Pass and also for pay-per-view is the April edition of the Beyond Crypto Woo. If you guys like those episodes, please do consider using the annual membership for the Insider Access Pass. Gives you access to all of these amazing series. And of course, the course material are still standalone products. They are proprietary to other guest speakers. Now, speaking of that, tomorrow I will be updating the third crypto crash course addendum, and that will be on the topic of wallets, a lot of you are asking us about the different wallet options, cold storage versus the hot wallets. So we did do another video on that, and I will be posting that either tomorrow or maybe at the latest on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. If you're already taken the first course and the security addendum and you're looking for more wallet opportunities, this will be the place to be. This was a tarot reading by Janine, and of course you can find Janine here at Sending Ravens and also on Tarot by Janine. Join me tomorrow night for the Galactic Odyssey with Julie. And I wanted to let you know also, Jason Quitt is coming back on the show Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. This is going to be a Beyond Disclosure episode. Really, really cool outline for this show. You don't want to miss that. We might ruffle a few feathers, but you know, it's Beyond Mystic. We try to listen to everybody here and follow nobody. And of course, this Penny Kelly episode that was pushed back the other day, this was my fault because of the dental surgery, is back on the board now for the 5th of April at 8 Eastern p.m. We are going to be talking about a lot of those unintended consequences that we're seeing here with our financial system and what's happening in the theater of war. So stay tuned for that. I love you guys. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.